What is up, homies? It's your girl Lily and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do another story time video. This is going to be for my May New York City trip, my birthday bash trip if you will. And there's a lot to unpack, so let's get into it. Just a disclaimer, I have like a note sheet, so if you see me looking down at it, it's just so I don't get sidetracked. I went to New York with a couple of my friends. The first friend was Maya. She is actually my first friend ever, so we are literally childhood besties, and when I mean childhood besties, we were adopted together by different parents at the same time. She lives and has lived nearby all my life, and obviously we hang out every now and then, and so it was really special to have her with me to celebrate my birthday in my favorite place in the world. She is literally like my sister and I love her so much. And then the second person that I went with was my friend Anna. She lives in Cleveland, but she actually was in my freshman year dorm at college at Miami University, and we just stayed in touch the entire 4 years that we were at college. It was really fun to be able to hang out with her and catch up with her as well, and also travel with her to, again, my favorite place in the world, and celebrate my birthday. Other people that were there that I just kind of met in the city, obviously Liz, Julia, and Jules, who you guys know about from my previous vlog, from my previous trip in New York in February. And then my friends Jess and Charlotte, I met up with them. You'll hear about them later in the video. And then my friend Isabella, who was from college, she lives in the city, and we finally got to meet up in the city while I was there. And that is basically the rundown of all the people that I hung out with or that I celebrated with. Let's get into the actual trip. So I woke up bright and early at 2:30 in the morning. Our flight was at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's usually at 8. I think it was because it was the holiday weekend. It was Memorial Day weekend, and there's a lot of air traffic probably during that time. And so I was like, okay, it's a little bit of an earlier flight, but that's okay. Woke up at 2:30. I picked up Maya at 3:15 at her house, and then I drove to the airport. We got some food, and then we flew into the city. We got there around 7:30, so we touched down a little bit early. Love that. And then we went to our hotel. I didn't think our hotel room was actually going to be ready at that time because it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was. And then we went to Stardust Diner. I've heard about this place on TikTok for the longest time, and I kept like thinking, oh, it's like the diner that Kurt, Rachel, and Santana worked at in Glee. And so I was like, oh, I have to try this out. It was like 5 minutes away from our hotel. I was like, this is perfect. Let's go get some breakfast. It was so much fun. The performances were amazing. After Stardust Diner, we went to NBC Studios. Had to get something from there because I have no control. I got a deck of cards. I've been eyeing these deck of cards for the past 3 times that I've been there, and I'm like, I'm finally gonna get them. Then we went to Saks Fifth Avenue. For some reason, I just like walking in there. We played this game. So we look at the article of clothing, we try to guess what price it is, and then we look at the price tag to see how close we were. And then we went to the Lotte New York Palace. That's a Gossip Girl thing. They actually had the courtyard open. The courtyard was closed last May through this May that I went, and so it was really fun to actually like see the courtyard open, and it's been renovated. And then we went to Starbucks because Maya was really tired and needed some caffeine. And then we went back to the hotel because my friend Anna was flying in a little bit later. She got in early afternoon, and so I wanted to just kind of be in the hotel so that she could check in easily. I met her in the lobby, we checked her in, and then we went upstairs to our room, and this is where it gets very interesting. So it's about 2 o'clock at this point, but at 3:45 I had to meet a friend for coffee, and that was gonna like probably go on to like 4:45, I would say. And then I had dinner at 5, and then I had the show at 7, and then I had post-show drink plans. So I was literally gonna be out from like 3:45 all the way until nighttime. And so I was like, you know what? It's 2 o'clock. I'm just gonna get ready right now. I put on this white dress and it has like a little pattern on it, and then it had sparkles on it. And then I put a sparkly birthday sash on. It was gold sparkles. It said birthday queen. And then I had a gold tiara to match. Aaron C. Finley, who is an ensemble member in the show, he has prop money. We call it Duke money. I have it actually right here in my Outsiders book. So this is Duke money. I'm using it as bookmark. This is from Dylan, by the way. I got it through fan mail, but I've never gotten Duke money from the stage. And Aaron Finley usually carries the money on the stage, and during the pre-show, if you ask nicely, he might drop some money to you in character, obviously. And I've tried a couple times and I have not succeeded. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear this birthday sash. I'm gonna be like, it's my birthday. Can I please have some money? And then obviously you would have to drop me the money. So I did my hair, did my makeup, got my birthday sash on, made a couple TikToks, and then I walked over to the coffee shop to meet my friend. The friend was Dylan Paul from Moulin Rouge. So I met Dylan and it was really, really fun just to talk to him and everything. I did not get a water this time. What I did was Thursday before I left, I was packing. I looked up this place that we were going to and I looked at the menu and I was just like, this is what I'm getting. I did that on Thursday before I left, so I was like prepared to like order. And I got a nice tea. Had dinner with Anna and Maya, and then we went to Witching Hour, which Witching Hour is an hour before the show. And I usually like to line up anyway, like an hour before the show, because if you don't get in that line early, it's really long, and then the bathroom line is really long. And so I've learned to just kind of get there like super early so I can just go in, go to the bathroom, get some pictures. But we also call it Witching Hour because if you kind of wait near the theater, like near the stage door, you'll see some actors run in. I was also with Liz, Jules, and Julia's. They were gonna go see The Notebook, but Notebook was at 8 and Rouge was at 7, so they were able to attend Witching Hour before they went to their show and got in line for The Notebook. Maya and Anna had not seen Moulin Rouge before. I was super excited for them to see it. They were sitting up in the mezz. I was sitting in row E. If you guys don't know what the Hirschfeld Theatre stage looks like, it's kind of like an eye, if you will. So like the top of the eye would be the main stage, and there's like a vertical kind of strip stage, and then they have another strip stage that's horizontal and parallel to the main stage, and they call that the passerelle. And then the passerelle kind of connects to these side stages that kind of fan out from the main stage. And so on the right side, I was sitting on row E, which is the first row on that right side, like where the stage kind of fans out. And it's a little bit like Can in a way, but not Can, if that makes sense, because there's dancers, there's actors on that stage. Sometimes they'll pass through. You get like side conversations from the ensemble members when they're not on stage. So it's kind of fun to sit there, and it was my first time sitting there. It was kind of the perfect spot for like a birthday bash because you're kind of exposed inside my birthday sash on. And like Tasia, before she was like running on stage to do her can kicks in the opening, she turns to me, she points to me, she goes, happy birthday, and her mic isn't on so you could hear her, but she goes, happy birthday, and like runs on stage and does her can kicks. So it was really fun. I got a lot of that from like most of the actors, so that was really, really cool. When I was with Dylan previously, like when we were having coffee together, he just goes, I don't know if I should do like, you know, the beard today or if I'm feeling the mustache. The mustache is like a thing, like I call it the Duke stash because it's like iconic. Most guys can't really pull a mustache off. Dylan Paul can. So I love the Duke stash. I love the commitment to the Duke stash. It's like my favorite thing ever. He knows that. And so when he asked me, I was just like, Duke stash, you gotta go with the Duke stash. And this man on his entrance turns around and there's the Duke stash, and I was like, point Lilly. I'm texting him during intermission and I was like, you went with the Duke stash. And then like I went to the bathroom, came back, he texted me back, and he texted me this like paragraph or whatever, but he was just like, I'm happy to show your friends the stage if you'd like. I was going to the show on Friday and Saturday. We'll get to Sunday, but it was already planned that I was going on Friday and Saturday, and I was planning on going on stage on Saturday only. So I texted him back and I was like, well, if I go on stage tonight, can I go on stage tomorrow too with other friends? I don't want to take up your time. He was like cool with it, and I was like, all right. And so I'm sitting in the orchestra, my friends are up in the mezz, texted our group chat and was like, so Dylan offered, do you want to like go on stage after the show? And they're like, yeah. And after the show, he was signing for everyone, and then he was like, you know, taking pictures, talking to people, and then he comes to me and he's like, you three, right? And I was like, yep. And he goes, you guys can just step around the barricades and I'll take you inside. I think it's because like nobody else was out at the time. Like nobody else was signing at the time other than Dylan. And so he just kind of comes to us and is like, you can step around the barricade. I was like, okay. Meanwhile, everybody went silent and just stared at us as we were walking into the theater. We go inside and it was like so cool already. And I'm not going to give anything away because the magic of theater still needs to happen. I had seen the show in 2019, like right after it opened on Broadway, and so it's kind of like a full circle moment. We got some pictures on the stage, which was really cool. We left and we took some pictures outside of the theater as well. We took some 0.5 pictures, which is really cute. We went to 48 Lounge, which is one of my favorite spots, got some champagne, called it a night. I got some pizza before we went back to the hotel though, and then I ate my pizza and went to bed. So then the next day we went to Central Park in the morning, and then we went to Haswell Greens, which is a brunch place. It was me, Maya, Anna, Liz, Jules, and Julia. And basically Jules is sitting at the table. She has this kind of like habit of looking on SeatGeek. Jules like looks over at the can section and she's like, it's $188 can seats. And I was just like, that's like a deal because it's usually $450 or around that. And Jules was like, I'm gonna do it. And I was like, you know what, Jules, I'm gonna do it too. And so I bought a can seat for $188 for Sunday night. So I saw the show 3 times that entire weekend. And I was like, YOLO. By the way, Anna and Maya did not know each other at all. Like, despite going to the same college, they didn't know each other at all. They were actually at brunch, like, eating off of each other's plates, and it was so cute. I was like, oh my god, I love this. While they were in Chinatown, I went to the Museum of Broadway with Liz, Jules, and Julia. They had gone before. I had never been to the Museum of Broadway before. I had many friends and people telling me, like, you should go visit it. It's definitely, like, worth the trip. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll see it. And they had a new Moulin Rouge exhibit as well. And I was like, okay, like now I have to go because it's a Moulin Rouge exhibit. As a Broadway fan, I absolutely loved it. I definitely recommend going if you're a Broadway fan like me. There's a lot of history about the shows and there's a lot of photo ops as well. The Moulin Rouge exhibit was amazing. So much fun going to the Museum of Broadway. I absolutely loved it. Definitely, again, recommend going if you're a fan of Broadway. And so after that, I went back to my hotel. I called my mom, told her I was alive, very important. Took a shower, put on my LBD, my little black dress for Snob, which is Saturday night on Broadway. And I was calling my friend Lorena as I was doing my makeup. And then we went to Marino. It was me, Anna, and Maya. Stephanie Renee Salyers, who is in the ensemble in the touring production of Rouge. Jules and I interviewed her for our podcast. She gave the recommendation Marino, and it was amazing. The food was so good. The host there was awesome. I got a free limoncello shot, and he sang happy birthday in the microphone while there was an accompanist playing the piano. So like it was just this amazing moment. It was so great and I loved it so much. And I love a good Italian restaurant, so that was absolutely amazing. Anna and Maya went to Starbucks Reserve to get an espresso martini. I went to the show. My friend Isabella went. So Isabella is a friend from college. She did her undergraduate at Miami with me, and now she's doing a graduate program at Columbia. So she lives in the city. This is her first Broadway show ever, and she's actually gonna go see The Outsiders with us on that Sunday. But she was like, you know what? I really want to see what Rouge is all about because you keep talking about it and you keep going, and I just want to see a show obviously that you really love. And then I met my 2 friends outside of the theater after the show, Jess and Charlotte. Jess owns a fan account for Dylan called Dylan Ziegler. Go follow her. She's amazing and like iconic, honestly. The one and only Dylan fan account and it's not run by me. Literally in February, I was like, okay, I'm going back to New York and I'm going back on my birthday weekend. And so like that was when I texted Jess and I was like, Jess, are you going to be in the city during Memorial Day weekend? And she was like, I think so. And I was like, we need to do this. And so like it was literally planned like 3 months back. I was like, yes, this is the moment. And then we got more pictures on stage, and of course I thanked Dylan again, and I went to Iron Bar with Maya and Anna. I do love that place a lot, and the food there is great, the vibe there is great. And then I went back to the hotel, got some sleep, woke up the next morning. I didn't sleep very well. I never sleep very well in New York, so I knew like right when I woke up Sunday morning that I was like, this is not gonna be the vibe. This is not gonna be the vibe at all. I was emailing my mom and everything, and I was just like, I feel like it's all gonna hit because it's my last day in the city and I'm already feeling emotional, and it's just been the best weekend ever. It's been so special, and I'm just like, I don't want it to end, and I'm really sleep deprived. But despite that, I got ready. Obviously, I had a 2-show day, or a 2-do-shay. I was seeing Outsiders in the afternoon and then Rouge at night. Maya, Anna, and I went to brunch at Lily's Crafting Kitchen, and then we went to the Outsiders. I'm reading the book now, but I had not read the book. I had not seen the movie prior to seeing the show, so I was literally going in blindly. During Stay Gold, Maya's like crying and she's like wiping her tears and looking over at Anna, and Anna's like fanning herself, trying to like dry her tears up. It was really, really, really good, but so emotional. I literally had to take a walk down 45th before I went to stage door because I was like, I'm an emotional mess right now and I just need to separate myself. I did that, then went back, I stage doored the show, got to see Kevin Solak, who I saw in 2018 in Mean Girls, so that was kind of like fun full circle moment for me. After that, I got a little bite to eat at Carve, which is right across the street from the Hirschfeld Theatre, went to Rouge, already like kind of super emotional from the Outsiders. Plus, on top of that, I was already emotional anyway. And so the entire performance, I was just kind of sitting there and I was like on the verge of tears. Christian has this big monologue at the very end of Moulin Rouge, and he says, a place to belong and people to love. And I absolutely lost it. I was sobbing when he said that. It's a place to belong. Like, Rouge is such a special place for me. The Hirschfeld Theatre is such a special place at this point, and I got to go on stage. I was like, who knows when I'm gonna be back, and it's literally like my favorite place in the entire world. And then obviously the people to love. I was with Anna and Maya, who are some of my best friends, and then I have my Rouge besties over in Can left, and I look at them and I'm like crying, and then I look at Dylan and I'm like crying, and even Jules on our podcast was like, yeah, I looked over at you and you were a mess. I was like, I know I was a mess. I was a mess. And I'm sitting front can, so everybody on stage saw me crying. Anyway, so then I stage doored. It was actually like the first night that I got to stage door. Dylan was signing again, and I wanted to say thank you. He steps in front of me, and I just couldn't get anything out because I was just really emotional. And I was like, I'm gonna start saying this thing and I'm just gonna sob and it's just gonna be a mess, and I don't want to do that. Once he was kind of going inside, I kind of called him over. He's like, hold on a sec, like gonna go get my stuff and then I'll come around and find you. And I was like, okay, cool. And so he came around and found me. I got through it all without crying. Be proud of me, guys. All I said was like, thanks for making my birthday weekend so special. Like, it was so much fun. I was just so grateful and everything. And, we hugged and had a nice proper goodbye. So I was like, okay, at least we got that. Then I walked home. It was like 10:15, probably 10:30. And I was like, well, my parents are going to be asleep at this point, and so I don't want to call them. So I'll call my friend Lorena. She picked up, and I cried on the way home. And then I cried more in the shower. Monday morning, Anna had to leave very early. She had an early flight, so we said goodbye to her in the morning, and then Maya and I had an evening flight, and so we went to the port. It started raining, and it started like downpouring. We dried out in the airport. We got there a couple hours early. Flight was at 7. They delayed it till 10, and they said it was at 9. So we got on the plane at 9, and then we flew home. I drove Maya home, and it actually hit midnight. It was officially my birthday. Then I went home and went to bed and slept the entire day. So that is basically my birthday bash. It was really, really fun, and I cannot wait to go back at the end of this month. It's my redemption trip. Most of my friends will understand what that means for me. I'm not gonna explain it on here because it's an inside joke. There's just something that happened that I just need to redeem myself for. So I'll just leave you with that. I'm super excited for July. Aaron's Debates coming back. So I was like, yep, we are seeing Aaron's Debates. And I got my tickets before the debate tax too. So I'm very excited for Aaron's Debates. I'm seeing The Outsiders again, so I'm very excited to see that. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you're updated every single time I upload a video. Comment down below some video ideas and follow me on social media. The links are in the description below. Thank you again for watching. It was a lot to unpack, I know. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy birthday weekend, but so much fun. Super excited to go back in July, and I will definitely be vlogging then. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!